welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on Paramount Plus that has stamped its ticket for the finals. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge All-Stars episode 7, and this is an episode of Last. In this episode, we get the last daily challenge, the last nomination ceremony, the last elimination. So let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Mark and Kendall winning in the elimination against Katie and Laterian, getting to stay in the game. And back at the house, Mark and Kendall are basking in this win, more so Mark than Kendall. And after the elimination and heading into the next daily challenge, we get a little bit more into the psyche of other competitors in the game, and we have Derek, who is talking about how he feels like he still has something to prove. Now, I found this interesting because Derek is a 3-time champ at this point, and he's talking about how he's never won a solo challenge, that the last time he won was on the Ruins, and I get all of that, but also at the same time, there's people in the house that have not even made it into a final. So to me, for Derek to be thinking that he has something to prove is very interesting. Now, on the other hand, or on the other side of the couch at this point, Nehemiah is feeling overly confident about his standing in the house. He feels really good about this game. Then we get a scene of Janae talking to Kendall, and Janae loves Kendall personally, but game-wise, she is worried that if Kendall keeps on making it farther into the game, she could possibly make it into the finals, and she is a real threat for that win and that money, and Janae wants to see Kendall leave before the finals. Then the next morning, we have Anissa and Hizela, and we get a little bit more about their background to their friendship, that they have been friends since Battle of the Sexes, and so they're coming in with a real strong bond and a real strong friendship. Then we get a tiny little segment that is very funny of Hizela, Jemmye, and Kellyanne watching the dad bods work out in the backyard. And I think they wanted to show this scene because, one, it's a fun segment, and two, at the end, Hizela says that this is the best show, and they really wanted to keep that soundbite in the show. Now let's move on to this week's daily challenge, where everyone meets at a dirt road, and everybody's wondering where TJ is until a giant truck is barreling down towards them down this road, and TJ's on the top of it, surfing on it like he's Teen Wolf. He gets off the truck to announce that this week's daily challenge is going to be called Rib Cage Pass, and this is going to be an individually run daily challenge. Now, in this week's daily challenge, you're going to have to be on the side of this truck going from beam to beam to go get a ball and then bring it back to your hoop and then drop it in. Now, we've seen this one in all the promos. It's everywhere in the mid-season trailer, the early promos. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Now, the one man and the one woman to get the most balls in their hoop the quickest will win safety, and they will win their spot into the finals. That's right, the finals are right around the corner. And then whoever comes in dead last will be going straight into the elimination as partnered up with each other. So everyone draws for their spots, and the first team up are Anissa versus Hizela. And Hizela is worried because something that I don't remember that was brought up in the show but was brought up in Aftermath is that when TJ was announcing the rules, he mentioned that if you fall off the truck, then you will be disqualified. And now Hizela is thinking that, oh my goodness, I would be disqualified and be automatically dead last. So when she's doing this, she gets to beam 3, and her stature is making this really difficult for her, and she doesn't want to just jump off and possibly fall off this truck. So she decides that she is just going to play it safe and just hang on the third beam. But in all actuality, what TJ meant was that if you fall off the truck during a round, then you're no longer able to get the ball for that round. The ball for that round is disqualified. So if you drop off in round 1, then the best you can do is 3 balls instead of the 4. So there was a miscommunication there, but Hizela holds on to beam 3, which then Anissa's like, oh, well, I just have to do better than what Hizela is doing. So she gets to like beam 7 or 6, and then she just sticks there, and the round ends with a 0-0 tie. But Hizela finishes this round in dead last, and she sets the bar very low for the rest of the game. We move on to round 2, where it's Nehemiah versus Derek, and Nehemiah actually does really well in the first round, getting his ball first before Derek, and he actually scores before Derek. But seeing across the truck, Derek was like, I gotta pick it up. And he does. He picks it up. He actually surpasses Nehemiah and gets 3 balls to Nehemiah's 2 by the end of this round. But I think that's a really strong showing to get 3 balls to 2 balls, and 2 balls being the bottom line after the first round of guys. I think that's actually very very impressive. We move on to round 3 where we have Jemmy versus Ruthie, and Jemmy is already thinking like, all I have to do is get to at least beam 4. If I can get past Hazella's mark, I'll stay out of getting last place, and most likely nobody's gonna pick me to be their elimination partner. She gets a little farther than Hazella and she locks in, whereas Ruthie is really wanting to get this win. She is trying, she actually gets a ball, she is coming back, but she mistimes a jump as she comes up a little bit short, and she's just holding on for as long as she can, and they cross that finish line 0-0, but Ruthie comes out of this round in first place for the women's side. Then we go into round 4 where Yes is going up against Big Easy, and they're actually doing a really great job, both of them, and they actually get 2 balls each, and Yes has his 3rd ball coming back, but he whiffs on the jump, comes up short, and then he is holding on for as long as he can, and then that's when the round ends with a 2-2 tie. Then we come up to round 5 where it's Alton versus Darrell, and they're cutting through this daily challenge like butter. They are actually neck and neck for most of the points, and they end their round on a 2-2 tie. They were actually very close about dunking their 3rd ball, but the truck got over the finish line and their time was stopped. Then we move into round 6 where we have Kellyanne versus Janae. Both are very competitive, and Kellyanne is also wanting to win because she doesn't want to be picked to be somebody's partner in the final elimination. She wants to win this thing, and so both Janae and Kellyanne are giving it all they got. Janae is actually ahead of Kellyanne at this moment, but then Janae tries to make a jump, she comes up short, and she is just holding on for dear life while Kellyanne grabs the ball, goes to her hoop, dunks it in. She's going for her 2nd ball, but that's when the round ends. So moving into the final round, we have Derek and Kellyanne in first place, about to win this challenge unless Kendall and Mark can put on a clinic and surpass them in this round 7. Now, coming into this round, I was worried for Kendall because I was like, I think her height and her stature could really play a disadvantage in this daily challenge, and it does, because she is able to go and get her 1st ball, but coming back, she is unable to get over the highest beam to then go and dunk her 1 point. So she is there just standing there for the rest of the time, unable to get over the high beam, where on the other side, Mark crushes this daily challenge. He gets all 4 balls in record time, dunks them all, and even just sits on the final beam waiting for the truck to pass through the finish line to end the round, and he gives a little flex. So we go to the results where TJ announces that both Mark and Kellyanne win this daily challenge. They are going to be safe from going into the elimination, and also they have punched their tickets to the finals. And the last place finishers announced were Hazella and Big Easy. Now, I don't think it was brought up in the episode, but in the aftermath, they talked about how it was Big Easy that was determined to come in last place of all the guys, and they talked about how TJ mentioned in the rules that you can't touch like the truck or the rigging of the daily challenge, and if you did, you were penalized for it. And when it came down to it, he touched it way more than Alton did, and so it was either Alton or Big Easy. Big Easy touched the truck, he was penalized more, thus putting him in last place, and him and Hazella are going to be partners going into this week's elimination. Now, back at the house, names are already being floated out there with Nehemiah and Alton, and when coming across Big Easy, he's like, I'll go against Nehemiah, that's cool with me, but it's ultimately up to you guys. And that's when Derek goes to Nehemiah, Alton, and Hazella and brings up that their names have already been floated out there, and Hazella is taking a stand. She does not want to see Alton in the elimination. She doesn't want to see Nehemiah. She talks about how, look, Derek, you came in 2nd place. I don't think you should be voted in there, but Nehemiah and Alton have already been in an elimination. I think it should be either Yes or Darrell, and she's really leaning for Yes to go in. When bringing it up to Jemmy, Janae, and Anissa, they're talking like, look, we'll see how everyone feels when we get to the deliberation. She gets a little bit of pushback, and so that's when, like, Hazella pulls back and is like, you know what, you do what you think is best. And Anissa even talks about how she says that she will vote for Yes, that she will not vote for Nehemiah. She will vote yes in the deliberation. So we move on to the deliberation, and this is what we've been waiting for. Everyone has been volunteering, it's been a majority vote, but now it is brass tacks. We are so close to the finals that everyone has their own agenda. Everyone has their own vote. Hazella's points are brought up in the deliberation, but everybody is like, look, we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. Nehemiah votes for yes, Derek votes for Nehemiah, Kendall votes for Alton on the agenda that, oh, you came in second to last, so it's only fair in my eyes that you would be the one to be going into the elimination. Then we have Darrell, who votes in yes, Alton votes for yes, Jemmye votes for Derek, John A also votes for Derek, and Ruthie votes for Nehemiah. Yes votes for Nehemiah, and it comes down to Aneesa. Now, before the deliberation happened, we have Yes giving this very heartfelt, sincere speech, talking about how he's been authentic, that he came into the game with no real social ties to anybody, and that every moment that he shared with everybody in the house has been authentic, and he considers everybody a friend to him, and that is the alliance for the day. And it really struck Aneesa in the heart, and so she is feeling like she does not want to say Yes's name in this moment, so she decides that she is going to vote in Nehemiah to the elimination. So it is Nehemiah going into the elimination against Big Easy and Hizella, and he is going to have to pick somebody to be his partner. Now, while out on the town, this is where things get very, very interesting. First of all, Kendall is thinking that Nehemiah is going to pick her, so she is trying to get mentally prepared to be the one picked to go into this week's elimination. Then we have Hizella talking to Jemmye, and Hizella is feeling like Aneesa is playing a scummy game. And later on in the night, they actually have a confrontation within the bar, talking about Hizella is like, I'm done with our friendship, you backstabbed me. Has she been played by Aneesa this whole game? So coming back to the challenge house after the bar, Aneesa is frustrated to the max. She is frustrated with how everything has gone down, what Hizella is feeling. She doesn't want to be picked going into the elimination, and to be this close to the finals and possibly being picked to go into the final elimination before the finals, she is feeling like this is just history repeating itself. So Aneesa is getting super, super emotional, and she is getting super frustrated on the situation. We wake up the next morning, and Nehemiah is packing up his bags, and he is getting ready to go into this week's elimination, and he does not have his mind made up. His top 3 contenders of who he wants to pick is either Kendall, Ruthie, or Aneesa. And I'm sure Nehemiah is leaving it open to when they go to the arena to see what the elimination looks like. That's when he's going to pick the partner that he feels is going to be the best for him. Now everybody walks into the arena, and we can see that there are like 2 walls with a whole bunch of pegs coming out of it. We have these giant poles in the middle of the arena with rings and a chain around it. So from looking at it, it's one elimination that we have not seen before, but it doesn't look to be a headbanger at all. So Nehemiah and everybody is taking that into account, trying to figure out what this is. Once everyone is up on the bleachers, that's when TJ asks for Hizella, Big Easy, and Nehemiah to join him on the arena floor, and then he turns it over to Nehemiah to pick a partner to help him out in this elimination, and that's when Nehemiah picks Kendall to be his partner for this elimination. And with everyone partnered up on the arena floor, that's when TJ announces that this week's elimination and the final elimination of All-Stars is called Ring Cling. And what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to make a ladder up this wall using the rings that are tethered to the chain that are around these giant poles. You're gonna have to free the rings from the pole first, and then you're gonna have to construct the ladder up and then ring your bell. The first team to ring your bell wins and punches your ticket to the finals, and the losing team put on a great show, but they will be leaving right before the finals, a real heartbreaker. So coming into this elimination, I'm thinking, okay, Nehemiah and Kendall both have seen eliminations. They know how it feels. They have a little bit of an edge coming into this elimination, but it's really anybody's game. With an elimination like this, it's anybody's game. And so coming into this, you can't underestimate or overestimate anybody. You just gotta play the game as hard as you can. And that's what everybody does in this elimination. Once TJ blows that horn, everyone goes to the pole and are trying to release their rings. Hizella and Big Easy are the first to release all 10 rings, but when Hizella is trying to jump from Big Easy's shoulders, she misjudges the jump and how far it is. She cracks down on her knee, and she is down on the ground writhing in pain. Big Easy is like, look, if you're hurt, you just stay where you're at and I'll try to win this for us. And so Hizella is trying to judge her knee, how bad it's hurting. She says there's no blood. She's able to wiggle her toes. So she's like, I'm just gonna try to do the best I can. She crawls over to help out Big Easy, try to untangle this chain and rings, and then Big Easy is getting to work on this giant puzzle. Over on the other side, Kendall and Nehemiah are actually having some struggles trying to like stretch out the rings, trying to put them on the poles, and looking over, Big Easy looks like he does this every Sunday. This looks like a hobby for Big Easy. We've seen him do a great job on the season with puzzles, and this is no different. And he gets up there and rings this bell, meaning Hizella and Big Easy win this elimination, sending Nehemiah and Kendall home. This is heartbreaking, especially for competitors like Nehemiah and Kendall who have given it all they've got. They've been put through the ringer multiple times this season, especially Kendall, who has put on a clinic in eliminations, multiple eliminations, and winning daily challenges, and to come this far in the game and to lose and to be sent home. I mean, this twist of being able to pick your partner for the elimination really, I think, screwed her game up. And it's really sad to see both Nehemiah and Kendall leave the game. Big Easy and Hizella stay in the game. And on the aftermath, Hizella talked about how after the elimination was over, all the medics came over to go check out Hizella's knee because they said when she dropped down on the ground, her knee like went the opposite way. So what does that mean for Hizella moving on to the finals? Will she be able to run it to the fullest 100%? And from the previews, it looks like they're gonna be starting off this finals paired up with each other. Whoever is paired up with Hizella could be putting their game on the line. What is going to happen? I don't know, but this is it. This is the final elimination. This is it for this video. We have everybody who's going to be running these finals, at least through the first leg. I'm thinking that there is a ton of people in these finals, and there's going to be some purges. There's going to be some people that are going to maybe quit in these finals because from the preview, it looks to be rough. And it looks to be like it's going to be one hell of a finals. We're going to have to wait to see what's going to happen. I'm going to do a breakdown on the finals preview in Tiny Table Talk tomorrow. But that is it for this video. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about this daily challenge? Did it live up to the hype of what we saw in the promos and the mid-season trailer? What'd you think about the nomination ceremony? What did you think about Nehemiah picking Kendall and them leaving the game? Were you heartbroken to see Kendall and Nehemiah leave this game so late, so close to the finals? Let me know anything and everything you thought about this episode down in the comment section below. And heading into the finals, who are you rooting for to win these finals? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.